For decades or even for centuries, people choose governments in order to keep stability, and governments were designed to manage predictability. Stable growth, stable professions, stable social contracts. That world, as we can all see, is behind us. Today, only constant is change. Uncertainty has become structural, but so it is opportunity. And adaptation is no longer an advantage. It is a core function of governance. According to global estimates, up to 40% of existing jobs will be significantly disrupted or transformed within the next decade. Not only in manufacturing, but in administration, services, finance, logistics, and parts of the public sector itself. This is not a distant future, it is already underway. And how we, both as a government and society, respond will shape prosperity for decades. In this environment, the most valuable strategic asset of any country is not infrastructure, capital or technology alone. It is human capital, people who can adjust while moving, learn while working, and grow with change rather than be displaced by it. This understanding lies at the heart of the cooperation between Serbia and the United Arab Emirates. It is rooted in the visionary leadership of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and President Aleksandar Vučić. Both leaders understood early that by the time disruption becomes visible, options are already limited. That the future rewards not those who react after pressure appears, but those who prepare their institutions and their people in advance. That distinction between anticipation and improvisation defines leadership in an age of constant change. Through the Government Experience Exchange Program, Serbia and Emirates built a partnership focused on experience, learning, and execution. Not on imitation, but on institutional readiness. Not on short-term outcomes, but on long-term resilience. Over the past years, this cooperation has delivered concrete results. More than 20 high-level bilateral exchanges, 128 joint workshops and expert sessions, over 2,100 public servants engaged, and approximately 5,500 hours of joint institutional work. But the most important result cannot be captured in statistics. It is a shift in mindset from responding to events to preparing for opportunity across multiple futures. Let me share a brief personal moment. As a doctor, I learned early that the most difficult decisions are not made when all the data is available. They are made when information is incomplete, outcomes are uncertain, and delay carries its own risk. Later, as Prime Minister, I recognized the same pattern in governing. The hardest challenge were not about managing what was already visible, but about preparing early enough to stay ahead. That realization changed how I think about reform. Because in a world of constant change, governments cannot wait for certainty. They must build systems. And people, they can operate when the map no longer matches the terrain. And today, the terrain changes faster than any map can be updated. This clarified something fundamental. Human capital is not only about skills. It is about capacity to respond. And that capability can and must be designed deliberately. So what does preparation actually mean? First, it means education systems that no longer stop at graduation. In Serbia, one of our strengths is dual education, tightly linking schools, universities, and employees. But dual education must now evolve into the continuous education, not one profession for life, but many transitions supported over time with dignity and confidence. Second, it means large-scale reskilling and upskilling, not as pilot projects, but as national infrastructure. Reskilling must be fast, modular, accessible, and aligned with real labor market needs. A 45-year-old displaced worker is not a liability. He or she is an experience asset if given a pathway forward. Third, it means transition systems, not just safety nets. In a world where jobs disappear permanently, compensation alone is not enough. People need support to retrain, re-enter, and move forward. Security must give people the confidence to change, not keep them attached to what no longer exists. Fourth, governments themselves must become learning organizations. Public servants must be trained not only to follow rules, but to anticipate change, test solutions, and adapt quickly. This is where foresight and scenario planning become essential, not as theory, but as daily practice. In a world defined by disruption, foresight is no longer optional. Scenario planning is no longer theoretical. It is a core governance capability. Governments must constantly ask, what if existing models stop working sooner than expected? What is entire job categorized disappearing with a decade? What if citizens expect speed, personalization, and trust simultaneously? Leadership today is not about predicting one future. It is about preparing society to succeed across many possible futures. This approach has guided Serbia's transformation. Today, ICT in Serbia's largest export sector. We rank among the leading GovTech performers globally and among the top 20% of countries worldwide in readiness for the next technological cycle shaped by artificial intelligence. Serbia has combined reform with results. In recent years, it has been among the fastest growing economies in Europe and today is the only non-EU country in the Western Balkans with an investment-grade credit rating, a signal of institutional strength, fiscal discipline, and long-term confidence. These results are not accidental. They are the outcome of consistent reform, investment in people, and trusted international cooperation, including with partners like the United Arab Emirates. This philosophy is most clearly reflected in Serbia's approach to Expo 2027 Belgrade. We do not see Expo as an event. We see it as a national transformation platform. From Expo 2020 Dubai, we learned that the true legacy of an Expo is not what is built, but what changes. How institutions operate under pressure, how talent is mobilized at scale, how confidence is strengthened. Expo 2027 is our opportunity to apply those lessons, to accelerate reform, strengthen institutions, and leave behind not just infrastructure, but lasting capability and optimism for our citizens. This is why human capital sits at the center of national resilience, because no strategy survives first contact with reality, but prepared people to adapt, prepared institutions recalibrate, prepared societies advance. Partnerships like the one between Serbia and the United Arab Emirates matter because no country can prepare alone. Change does not respect borders. Knowledge moves globally. And the future rewards those who learn faster together. Let me end with this. The future will not judge us by how precisely we predicted. It will judge us by how well we prepared our people to success, by whether our institutions were able to adapt and grow, by whether our societies moved forward with confidence and purpose. Human capital is not one policy area among many. It is the force that allows a nation to progress, renew itself, and stay cohesive as the world evolves. And in the end, or in the age of constant transformation, those who invest in people do not merely face the future, they build it. Thank you very much.